Hi there, all you huggable ones. I'm Joseph the Huggist. This is my very first video, talkie video on YouTube, and I'm pretty nervous. So it's probably going to be very awkward. Very awkward. I'm so nervous I set up toys behind me just for the hell of it. It's Wolverine and Beast from the X-Men show. They're going against Sabretooth and Sinister, my two favorite villains. And I'm here to do an unboxing video for Retrogametreasure. It's a monthly subscription service where you get possibly 5 games, most likely 3. And this is my 2-year anniversary now. So I'm going to do an unboxing video and show you the 97 games that I've gotten through their service. It's pretty cool. You get to set up a checklist of every single game that you own for the systems that they have available, which they have PS1, PS2, Nintendo Wii, Super Nintendo, what else? The original Nintendo system. They even will send you Super Famicom games and Famicom games. Nintendo 64, Dreamcast, which I don't get, Sega CD, Sega Game Gear, and I'm sure I'm missing some. But let's start with the unboxing first, and then if you want to leave after that, if anyone's even watching, awesome. I didn't open this beforehand, so I have no idea what's in this. Sounds like Game Boy Advance games. Oh, awesome. So, I am a huge wrestling fan. I watch every single one I can, every single brand and show. I got, this month, looks like 4 games. WrestleMania for the NES. And it's in pretty beautiful condition. There's a little L on the back, but that doesn't bother me. I'm not a serious collector. So another thing, I'm hugely dyslexic. I have about 3 forms of it. So I'm not going to be able to read out every single title with accuracy. So if I read the title, I'm sorry. I got a PS2 game, P2. I have no idea what this game is. It looks like a soccer game. Got a Game Boy Advance game. Never played it. Can't wait to try it out. Mario Luigi Superstar Saga. A PlayStation portable game in its original wrapper, a greatest hit game. I have heard of this one. Wipeout Free. An original wrapper. They do that quite often, and I always feel a little sad about when I open them up. I don't really do it that often to undo the original wrapper because I feel like it's a waste. That's for March. Now let's start looking at every other game I've gotten through them over the 2 years. Let's start with the N64 games. Star Wars Shadow of Empire, which is one of the first games I've ever played. I love this game to death. I sold it when I sold my original N64, and then they bought one from Retrogametreasure. They sell video game systems and controllers too. They're guaranteed to work. I've never had a problem with it. It's very rare that they send you doubles of a game. I've gotten 2 in the entire time that it's happened. This is one of them, WrestleMania 2000. which is, if I'm going to get a double of the game, WrestleMania 2000's a pretty good double to have. And then they sent me Mario Tennis, which I haven't been able to play because it's an imported one, and the N64 that I have doesn't play Japanese imported games, but it's still cool to have. PlayStation portable games. This is an imported PlayStation portable game. Monster Hunter Portable 2G. I haven't tried it out yet. I'm gotta find my PlayStation Portable. In efforts to upgrade to the Vita, I sold it out of my collection and I'm rebuilding it now. And then iPad in its original wrapper. Came with the PlayStation camera, which I played this game when it first came out. I really liked it. Probably not going to open this because everything's just perfect with it. Let's go to the NES games now. NES football. The worst football game I've ever played in my life, and I've played every single football game. Bases Loaded. I don't remember if I've tried this one out. I've gotten so many games, it's hard to play them all. Dick Tracy, which I've never tried, mainly because of the Nerd's review of it, and I just like him, trust him. Gotcha the Sport, which is a paintball game, and then Light Gun series, which I no longer have a light gun, which sucks, but it wouldn't work anyways on modern TVs. And this is one of the games I got last month, Golf, the NES game. It's really hard to play, especially now, after being used to playing Tiger Wood games and all that. Let's go on to Sega Genesis games. Sometimes they'll send you a Genesis game in its original box. It has happened once for me in 2 years. The one that I did get, I'm not super ecstatic that I did get it, but it's still nice to have. Bassmasters Classic. The box in pretty rough shape. It's seen some wear in its time. It was in this nice, wow. I've never taken this game out of this package because I'm not really much of a Min Fisher. It's pre-owned $29.99. Who would have paid $30 for that game? They sent me the original menu too. I said menu. Dyslexic moment. Manual. Menu. I feel like I'm not taking my time through these, I'm just sort of rushing through it, I'm sorry. Nerves. I get nervous over something probably no one's going to see. And I don't really have a preference to which games I like either. You can set it up for adventure games, RPGs, puzzle games, sport games. I have it selected for all fields. I'll play most any game when I have the time, so I really don't care what I get as long as it's pretty enjoyable, and for the most part they do deliver on that. Dave Robinson's Supreme Court, which I like the Sega basketball games, they're pretty fun. Krusty's Funhouse. another Dave Robinson game. NBA Action 95, starring David Robinson. This is one of the first basketball games I've ever played, and it's one of the few times that Michael Jordan wasn't in it. Well, Michael Jordan wasn't in a lot of basketball games back then, but he was actually not in it. This is the year that he came back to basketball. So, Super Smash TV, a really fun game. Kid Carmelian. And I'm sorry if I butcher any of these, I can't help it. One game I really surprised I got, Garfield, Caught in Action. Caught in the Act. Caught in the Act. Ugh. Dyslexia's a struggle. I'd love to talk more about it too, because when I say I have a lot of it, I have 3 different forms. I've been dealing with it for 15 years. It still gets the best of me. Actually, I've been dealing with it for a lot longer, but 15 years ago is when they discovered. So, one of the other games that they sent me a double of, which is funny because they sent me both copies, is College Football National Championship 2. Which I've never played. I'm not very much of a college football fan. James Pond 2. Then they really loved sending me Sega basketball games. NBA Live 95. NBA Live 96. So in total I got 4 basketball games for the Sega Genesis. King's Bounty, Zany Golf, Game Boy Color games and regular Game Boy games, The Amazing Spider-Man, DuckTales, Deer Hunter, and the Arcade Hits pack, Moon Patrol and the original Spy Hunter, which I've always wanted to play Spy Hunter, so I'm really glad that they sent me that. And they sent, when you pick Game Boy Advance games, you're going to get a lot of Game Boy Advance games. The most games I've gotten for any system is Game Boy Advance, 23 games. Metroid Fusion. I'm not even going to pretend to know how to say that. Dragon Ball Z Legend of Goku. Great Outdoor Games 2002. Another game I'm not going to pretend how to say. Gonna have to take a pause. I hear background noise coming in. It took 15 minutes for the basement noises to stop basement noising. Pretty long 15 minutes. Okay. But I did think of 2 things. One thing. I forgot the other thing. First thing, is it still... Only thing. Awkward. Is it still considered one video if you film 2 videos and have to edit it to make it one video? Or is it technically 2 videos? No idea. So, back to the Game Boy Advance games. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3. ATV Quad Power Racing. I love the ATV games. The PlayStation 2, when it came with the game was ATV Off-Road 2, which I think and the PlayStation Portable 2 came with an ATV game. I'm pretty sure I've played that at least 100 hours. Spider-Man 2. Whoopsie. Shrek 2, Beg for Mercy. Advance Wars 2. Little Mermaid. Magic in Two Kingdoms. Looney Tunes Back in the Action. One of my favorite Spider-Man games for handheld consoles. I think my favorite Spider-Man game is, because I haven't played the new one yet, the newest one for PS4, is probably Spider-Man Web of Shadows. Only because I like the pick which side you can be, dark or light. I always fall for the black cat hole in that game. Spider-Man Battle for New York. Battle of New York. No, it's Battle for New York. But Ugly Martians, I gotta play that one. The Incredible Hulk. In Need for Speed game, I can't read the subtitles down there. Quad Desert Fury. Battle for Volcano Islands, Nicktoons. Beyblade Revolutions. Dynasty Warriors Advanced. I love the Dynasty Warrior games. Board games. I think that's board games. And then probably the two Game Boy Advance games that most everybody would know. Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories. Zelda: A Link to the Past, Swords 4. Alright, off to Super Famicom games, which I can only play because I have the Retron 5, which is pretty cool. And I can't read Japanese, so I'm basically just going to guess these. And I have no clue what this one is. None. Andre Augustine Tennis. Whoopsie. Super Fire Pro Wrestling Special. They've sent me a lot of wrestling games, and I'm very thankful for that. I can spend hours playing wrestling games. That's a very good one. And now to regular Famicom games, and just look at the stack they sent me. 2 years. They've sent me a lot. This is me trying to read the last word, and it's not going to happen. TM Network Live in Power Boulevard. Dragon Quest 2, 3, and 5. It's really weird because right now I'm listening to music to help me not be so nervous. It's a Japanese metal band, which I can't pronounce the name of. A Japanese soccer game. Spelunker? Not sure if I said that right. I probably didn't say that right. When in doubt, I just assume I didn't say that right. Not gonna try. Not gonna try. Gladius. Here comes the basement noises. It's gonna be basement noisy again. Clueland. Raid on Bungee Bay. Galaga, which is always a great game to have. And I still don't know what this game is. I've never plugged it into my Retron. It's a Yoshi game. I know that pretty sure. That furnace kicks on. I gotta take on another intermission. So they've only sent me one Wii game so far. I'm not canceling my subscription anytime soon. I'm actually thinking about setting other people up for subscriptions. Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga. It's also in the worst condition too. It's definitely seen some love in its life. And here comes our furnace. So taking a break. Only 5 minutes this time, which I've learned one thing. Damn it! This time I actually learned 2 things. The lighting is pretty good right here. The noise, not so good. Which if I ever do another unboxing video, which it's funny to start it out this way, by the way, it's to Tupac, California Love now. Never doing it in this spot. Alright, I only got PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 1 in this video. With PlayStation 1, they really loved sending me racing games. Racing and wrestling. NASCAR 99. Need for Speed 2 Need for Speed 3 Hot Pursuit. A game I've wanted my entire life, but I never picked up. I only thought it was for the Dreamcast. World's Scariest Police Chases. I saw it in an issue of Tips and Tricks when I was a kid, and I've always wanted it. Now I got my hands on it, and I played it. It's everything I ever wanted. Dance Dance Revolution. Tekken 3. Mortal Kombat 3. The Jungle Book Rhythm and Blues, which is actually surprisingly very fun. ECW Hardcore Revolution, which if you've ever played WWF Attitude, you've played ECW Hardcore Revolution. The worst wrestling game, in my opinion, of all time, WCW Nitro, with Sting, Hulk Hogan, and Paul White on the cover. How can it be so bad? And here's one of my favorite things about Retrogametreasure is if you ask them, they'll send you demo discs and stuff. And I love getting demo discs. I actually discovered one of my favorite games of all time on a demo disc, Metal Gear Solid and NFL Extreme, which they sent me the exact demo disc. Interactive sample disc CD volume 8, and on the back it will show you every demo, which is Medieval, Metal Gear Solid, NFL Extreme, and Spiral the Dragon. I've never played Spiral the Dragon. I wonder if it's any good. Well, I know it's good. And then to the PlayStation 2 collection that they sent me, which is the collection they sent me. It's the second longest one, which is great because it's my second favorite system behind Sega Genesis. 17 games. Stuntman. Hack. And its packaging, which I don't know too much about this game, so I don't know if I'll ever open it. I think it's a shame to open original package games. WWE All-Stars, which is supremely fun for what it is. Then to one of the other worst wrestling games, Legends of Wrestling. Dave Mura. 2 Freestyle BMX. WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2009. Hearts Kingdom Greatest Hits. This one was in its original packaging, and this is the only original packaging game that I've opened that's that old. And then all these demo discs, which I love. I'll get to those in a little bit. Crash Nitro Circuit, which I'll probably eventually open that one up. It's in its original packaging because I like Crash. International Winter Sports 2002. Soul Calibur 2, which has a demo disc in it. It's got a little writing on there, but that doesn't bother me. Major League Baseball 2K5, which is, I wouldn't consider this as a demo, I mean a double, because I have MLB 2K5 World Series Edition, and it's basically the same game, but this one has less features, so I don't know if it's a double. I don't consider it a double. And Spy Hunter. Got some weight to this manual. That's the second time I've done that. Manual. Ooh. And let's get through these jam-pack discs. So I'm probably one of the few people in the world that gets excited for demo discs. It just takes me back to my past when I was a little kid. Volume 11, 12, 13, 14. German rap. So you can try out 12 great new games: Killzone, Jack, ATV Off-Road Fury 3, Ratchet and Clank, Up Your Arsenal, Star Wars Battlefront, Area 51, Metal Gear Solid 3, my favorite Metal Gear Solid game, Burnout 3 Takedown, Silent Hill 4 The Room. I've never played a full horror game in general. They freak me out. I'm not good with horror. Jeff Jam Fight for New York, Ace Combat 5, Ghost in a Shell, Standalone Complex. Let's see, playables: God of War, MLB 2006, Juiced, Dark Force Black Hawk Down, Lego Star Wars, Fight Night Round 2, Cold Winter, 10 hot new games. Playables. Shadow of Colossus, another game I've never played. Which is funny because I have such a big PS2 collection that I don't have that one in particular, and it's a greatest hit. Spy 3, Honor Among Thieves, Jack X, Combat Racing, Ratchet, Locked Dead, Castlevania, Curse of Dark. I've never even heard of that one. Soul Calibur 3. Probably haven't heard of the Castlevania game because I'm not good with horror games. Burnout Revenge, Chronicles of Narnia. I'm not going to attempt to read that. Brothers in Arms, Earned in Blood. Volume 14, 9 hot new games. That's funny. It went from 12 to 9, back to 10, back down to 9. Playables, Shadow of Colossus again. I've never even played the demo of Shadow of Colossus, and I have on 2 demo discs. iToy Operation Spy. Ratchet Deadlock, now it's on to comedy music. I cannot pronounce that. Shadow Hearts from the New World. MLB 06 The Show. Laura Croft, Tomb Raider Legend. Steamboat Chronicles. Beatmania. Beatmania seems pretty cool. Might have to throw that in there. And then Winter 2002 Jam Pack. Demos. Primal. Wild Arms 3. Ratchet and Clank. The Mark of Kai. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4. SOCOM US Navy SEALs. Spy Cooper and Thieves Raccoonius. Ugh. Reading's hard. This has gotten some love over time. You can't really see that on the screen, but it has. It's like, that's pretty awesome. It's going into the tablet, which I'm recording with. Sorry. Now, not counting the games that I've gotten today, I've gotten 93 games total from them. For, I think it's, I'm not sure of the price, but I think I pay $30 a box. Pretty sure. After the first few months, it's like, the first few months I got, I think it was like Kingdom Hearts, Legend of Zelda, Force Awakens, and then like all those Famicom games, and I thought it was worth it. PS1, I've gotten 9 games. PS2, 17. Pop Music. Wii, I've gotten 1. Game Boy, 4. Game Boy Advance, 23. PSP, 3. Sega, 13. N64, 3. Famicom, 13. Super Famicom, 3. NES, 5. I have gotten 1 game that has not worked, and I think it's either too much love from its original owner, or my PlayStation Portable just isn't capable of reading it, which I have 2, which it's not too disappointing. It's Star Wars 2, the original trilogy. It's the only game I've ever gotten 93 games, the only one. If you're counting 94, I didn't include this in the list. 94 games, this is the only one that has worked, which is pretty good. So 1 game that hasn't worked, two doubles, and a whole lot of fun. I love the box too. I don't know if you got a chance to see it, but it's a little treasure chest. It's really sweet. I like these boxes. I use these boxes for everything. So what did I learn from my first video is I'm nervous for something that probably no one's ever going to see. Never do it in this spot again. And this isn't really something I've learned. I am awful at reading. Dyslexia is a hard, try not to swear. It's a hard, mother-loving, fudging, awkward mess. Is that good? No, I think I can do better. Why are you still watching? You shouldn't be watching this. I'm probably not going to think of anything. Yep, bye.